Today we discuss about database pagination concept in Laravel. So in this we are having main topics like introduction, basic usage, displaying pagination results, customizing the pagination view, paginator and length-aware paginator instance methods, cursor paginator instance methods. And apart from this, we are having subtopics like paginating query builder results, paginating eloquent results, cursor pagination, manually creating a paginator, customizing pagination URLs, adjusting the pagination link window, converting results to JSON using Bootstrap. So like this, we are having subtopics in database pagination. So let's see one by one the introduction. So we will be having Tailwind GIT. So if we are using Laravel's default Tailwind pagination views and the Tailwind GIT engine, so we should ensure our applications tailwind.config.js files content key references Laravel's pagination views so that the Tailwind classes are not original. So now we see basic usage. So paginating query builder results. So we will be using paginate method. So this paginate method counts the total number of records matched by the query before retrieving the records from the database. So if it uses like offset pagination. So in Laravel mainly there are two kinds of pagination, like offset pagination and also cursor pagination. So if I want to achieve offset pagination, we will be using either paginate method or simple paginate method, or if I want to achieve cursor pagination, we will be using cursor paginate method. So internally if we use paginate method, so it will be calling the instance of length aware paginator class, and if we are using simple paginate method, it will be calling the instance of paginator class, and if we are using cursor paginate method, it will be calling the instance of cursor paginator method. So these are the three important classes that are available in pagination. One thing, length aware paginator class, and the next one is paginator class, and the third one is cursor paginator class. So like this we are having three different classes, and the methods are paginate method, important methods, paginate method, simple paginate method, and next cursor paginate method. Let's see the differences between these three methods. So paginate method counts the total number of records matched by the query before retrieving the records from the database. So it will maintain the numeric numbers in the pagination. So if I want to maintain only next and previous links in the pagination, we will be using simple paginate method. And if I want to use some hashed kind of cursor in the paginate as a query string, so we will be using cursor paginate method. So like this we will be having three different methods in the pagination. So multiple paginator instances per page. So sometimes we may need to render two separate paginators on a single screen that is rendered by our application. So in those cases we will be mentioning the page name as the third parameter to methods like paginate, simple paginate, and cursor paginate methods. So like this we will be mentioning multiple paginator instances per page. And let's see cursor versus offset pagination. So we have already seen the main difference. So it will show the numeric, either numeric or next previous links, and it will count the number of records as well. But whereas cursor pagination, it constructs where classes by comparing the values between the ordered columns. So this is the main difference between the cursor and offset pagination. And the advantage with the cursor pagination, cursor pagination over offset pagination is, for larger data sets, cursor pagination will offer better performance if the order by columns are indexed. However, the cursor pagination has limitations like simple paginate. Cursor pagination can only be used to display next and previous links. It requires that ordering is based on at least one unique column or combination of columns that are unique. So columns with null values are not supported in the cursor pagination. Query expressions in order by clauses are supported only if they are aliased and added to the select clause as well. Query expressions with parameters are not supported in the cursor pagination. Query expressions with parameters are not supported in the cursor pagination. Now we see how do we create manually a paginator. So sometimes we want to create a pagination instance manually. So passing it an array of items that we already have in memory. So we may do so by creating either paginator instance or length await paginator instance or cursor paginator instances. So as per the requirement. So the paginator and cursor paginator classes do not need to know the total number of items in the result set. But if we use length aware paginator, so it requires the count of the total number of items in the result set. So then we have to slice, we have to use array underscore slice in order to set the number of items per page. So like this we will be manually creating paginator by creating instances of either paginator class or length aware paginator class or cursor paginator class. Now we see customizing the pagination links, pagination URLs. So by default, links are generated by paginator will match the current request's URL. So however, the paginator's with path method allows to customize the URL used by the paginator. So like this we will be using with path method in order to customize pagination URLs. Appending query string values. So we will be using appends method in order to append query string values. So we may use with query string method if you would like to append all of the current requests query string values to pagination links. So with query string method, so if I want to append all of the current requests query string values to the pagination links. Appending hash fragments. So if I want to append hash fragment to the pagination, so we will be using fragment method. So displaying pagination results. So as we have already discussed this one, so we can extend either instance. We will retrieve the instance either length aware paginator class or paginator class or cursor paginator class. So these objects provide several methods that describe the result set. So in addition to these helper methods, the paginator instances are iterators and may be looped as an array. So the links method will be mainly used to display the pagination results. So generally the links method is compatible with Tailwind CSS framework. Adjusting the pagination link window. So for example, while displaying the pagination results, so if I want to adjust either side 5 I want to display. So then we will be using on each side method, on each side of 5. So like this, on each side 5 method. For example, on each side method will be used to adjust the pagination link window. So it will display 5 results before and after to the day. On each side it will display 5 links. So converting results to JSON. The Laravel Paginator classes implement JSONable contract interface. So interface contract it will use. So in order to convert results, pagination results into JSON. And also if we use either route or controller, so which will convert a paginator instance to JSON whenever we return data, so it will automatically convert into JSON format. So if result set is returned from either route or controller, automatically it will return in the form of JSON. So when the JSON format is returned, so it will contain the information, the meta information like total records, like it's total per page, current underscore page, current page, last underscore page, first underscore page underscore URL, last underscore page underscore URL, next underscore page underscore URL, prev underscore page underscore URL, like that previous page URL, path, from, to, data. So like this it will be having meta information, the JSON format. So like this we will be converting the results to JSON either by implementing the JSONable interface contract or either returning from route or controller. Now customizing the pagination view. So how do we customize the pagination view? By default, the views rendered to display the pagination links are compatible with Tailwind CSS framework. This is very important. So generally the pagination links, pagination views are compatible with the Tailwind CSS framework. So if we want to customize with a different view, so we will be passing as the first parameter as that view, and we can publish that into the vendor directory by using artisan command like php artisan vendor :publish -- tag equal to Laravel -pagination. So it will customize the pagination views by exporting them to our resources views vendor directory using this vendor publish command. So this command will place the views in our application's resources views vendor pagination directory. So the tailwind.blade.php file, the tailwind.blade.php file within the directory corresponds to the default pagination view. So we may edit this file to modify the pagination HTML. If we would like to designate a different file as a default pagination view, then we will be using methods like default view and default simple view methods within the boot method of our app providers app service provider class. So within the app service provider class, we will be using a paginator packet with that paginator default view method or paginator default simple view method. So like this we will be using default view and default simple view methods in order to designate a different file as a default pagination view file. Now we can also use Bootstrap. So using Bootstrap, so Laravel includes pagination views built using Bootstrap CSS. To use these views instead of the default Tailwind views, we may call the paginators use Bootstrap 4 or use Bootstrap 5 methods within the boot method of our app providers app service provider class. So like this we will be having bootstrap methods like use bootstrap 4 method, use bootstrap 5 method. And now we are having different instance methods of paginator class and length aware paginator class. So those methods are count method, current page method. All these are camel paste. Count method, current page method, first item, get options, get URL range, has pages, has more pages, items, last item, last page, next page URL, on first page, per page, previous page URL, total, URL method, get page name method, set page name method, through method. So like this we are having instance methods of paginator class or length aware paginator class. Now we are having instances methods of cursor paginator class. So those methods are count method, cursor method, get options method, has pages method, has more pages method, get cursor name method, items method, next cursor method, next page URL method, on first page, on last page, per page, previous cursor, previous page URL, set cursor name, URL method. So these are all the cursor paginator instance methods. And previously we have seen paginator or length aware paginator instance methods. So like this we are having three important classes in Laravel Pagination: paginator class, length aware paginator class, and cursor paginator class. And we are having three important methods: paginate method, simple paginate method, cursor paginate method. And tailwind.blade.php we have seen the default page view file, and if you want to customize that file we will be having default view method, default simple view method, and we are having appends method to append the query strings. So like this we are having different methods in order to implement the pagination concept in Laravel. So this is all about pagination concept in Laravel. Thank you so much. This is Universal Horse Star. Thanks to all of my fans, supporters and followers, and a special thanks to all of my YouTube subscribers. Thank you so much. This is Universal Horse Star Ravindar Reddy Yampalla. Thank you so much.